A recording is in progress. Hi, G. Matt, wave to G. The CCP looking in, listening in.
This is my G. This is my G symbol. Everybody do this. It's the I, my head, and the X.
Man, and first of all, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. We got a filthy show for you tonight. Market Vitals is the stream. MarketVitals.io is our website. Fully, Matt, Clown World. I had this clown nose in my trading jacket for years on the floor. And it's a great effect.
When would you pull it out? Give us an example of
like I tell you when I'd pull it out for sure. Like when two people were in a just a incredibly intense argument. And if it's on the floor, like people argue now about parking spaces and not wearing a mask. I mean, this was about money. Like, and if they're screaming and yelling at each other, ready to rip each other's faces off, that's when I'd put the clown nose on and see if I could intervene and bring some semblance of sanity.
You were the circus arbitrar.
In fact, I got to tell you a little story about the floor. I spent probably 5 years in the Mexican peso, right? And it was at the point I was kind of floundering. I was over in the euro yen and the back month euro dollars. I had left the euro currency, which was the D-marks. I had left that as it was fading. And my brother comes up to me. He goes, dude, we got to go in the peso. And I'm like, why? He's like, I just saw an argument that like I haven't seen one of these in like years. These guys were ready to kill each other. There must be a lot of money involved.
There must be some good trades to be had.
There's got to be some good flow in there if these guys are ready to kill each other. There's got to be some good money involved. Matt, we say it all the time, right? Just follow the money. Mm-hmm. You know, the conspiracy theory that Neil Young just had this epiphany and decided he was anti-Joe Rogan when his whole life had been counterculture, all his songwriting. Follow the money. I don't know. What else do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
And
Crosby, Stills, Nash, they thought they needed a bump too, so they yanked their stuff too.
Matt, on the with money, I'll tell you, I've been looking and I have yet to see the first person wearing a Build Back Better hat. Have you seen one?
Joe Manchin hasn't been wearing one.
Does he?
No, he has not been wearing
one. Oh, yeah, Joe Manchin. He's total.
He's not wearing one.
Against money. Against money.
Right.
I'm at this just in Milli Vanilli now. Makes an announcement they are pulling someone else's music from Spotify. Thank you, Javi.
Girl, you know it's true. Goo, goo, goo.
The greatest is they pulled it off, right? They lip synced it. They did concerts.
Because they could dance. They were pretty dancers.
How far back are we going?
1988.
1988. Wow.
Same time. By the way, that same beat is in the same song that came out in everything that was top 20 that year. So think about it. Girl, you know it's true is the same as Paula Abdul doing Straight Up Now Tell Me, do you really want to love me forever?
Right. Yeah. It's the
same fucking song.
Sing it, Matt.
Oh, hey, Matt, I can't dance like Paula though.
How about the lovely narrative? And we didn't even talk about this, but let's bring it up. Bring up Spotify, because everybody were like, see, this is what happens when you have somebody that spreads misinformation on your platform.
I heard all that on like CNN and everything. It was great.
Right. It was great. And let's look at the chart because of course this was on the right side to begin with.
Yeah, it's been fully right-sided and it had rallied with the rest of the market up there to 205. And yeah, now it's back down, making a marginal new low. But again, to your point, it was 305 back in November when everything else was peaking. And before that, it was 387 back in February. So it's been going down for a long time. We've been talking about it. And we've showed it a number of times on the show. This is a new low down here, but now you're getting out of value. But this is, again, only going back to March. You got to remember where these things have come from, people. I mean, this is still worth $30 billion. It's still worth a big chunk of change. And, this is a daily. Let me just remove this fib now that it's no longer applicable to that old low. But it's at the bottom of, on a daily chart, or this is a 4 hour, it's getting right to the bottom of where it should pause. And you can see there's a big area right here, 147. So, 147, the 138, like that should hold. If it doesn't, it's going lower. But
Can you fractal out one more time so we can see that pre-pandemic?
Well, that definitely showed pre-pandemic. So, because this is March of 20 right here.
Right on. And so what is that longer term point of control?
Oh, the longer term one here on the daily is right, 143.
Right on. So all you Joe Rogan haters, sell it with both hands down to 143, and then when it's 240, we'll have another discussion about it.
Well,
because again, I mean, this narrative, all of this bullshit is going to go away, and people are going to continue listening to music. And from my point of view and yours,
and podcasts that they
and
enjoy.
podcasts, and Spotify's the best one out there.
Yeah, and again, they reported. Here's the interesting thing: they were expecting a minus 58, and they were only minus 24. They actually beat. This is what's interesting. Like they actually had better numbers, and then their sales they reported 3.05, which was 40 million more than they expected of 3.017. So this company does real. I spend $20 a month on my subscription. And my whole family gets to use it, so 6 of us are using it, and that's the way they offer it. Like they have these family programs, and everybody can log in, get their own profile. So I spend $240 a year. It's a real company. They're doing 12 billion a year in sales. So yeah, to your point, Bob, and they're doing 12 billion, and the market cap's only 29 and a half. That's a pretty good. That's only a 2x revenues.
Compared to everything else
everything else,
not everything else.
It's particular value, and I mean, you get it down to 120 to 140. I think you have to be accumulating in that range if they want to.
Did you say if they paid a dividend or no?
They don't pay a dividend. They're not making money. It's probably still. Yeah.
All right, Matt. Let's segue right to the other big name in the news. Obviously, is Face Crap.
Well, do you want to start with the chart? Didn't you have a chart you wanted to bring up?
I don't think so. Did I?
Yeah.
I don't remember. See?
Yeah, you did. I sent it to you.
I'm all discom. Yesterday was the sound. Today it's just my brain. Well, you know what? We'll get back to that. Let's talk about a couple other things, and we'll get back to that.
Okay.
Matt, this out. We all know that there's a rift going on, and part of the story is that these black coaches are saying there's racism in hiring. All right, and that's not the thing that I want to pay attention to here, because I think the giant story here is that if this is true, if Hugh Jackson alleges Browns offered losing bonuses to coach you into oblivion for that first round pick. Now, my question is nuanced here, and we need to have an expert on legality here, because there's so much gambling. Like we talk about gambling all the time. There's lines, there's with money, there's against money. Like if you were betting with your Cleveland, Geraldo, right? Geraldo's in Cleveland. He's loaded up on the Browns, right? Because he thinks these guys are playing for a job on the roster next year. Little does he know the coach is throwing the game.
Well, the interesting thing, Flores said that the owner of the team, Stephen Ross, offered him $100,000 a game to tank, right? And then, so to your point, I start thinking, well, $100,000 to Stephen Ross, who's a 30 billionaire, is nothing. It's $10 to him. So, it's Section 23 concession stands, one game of the year,
right?
I mean, so
great way to put it too. It's just the nachos in one section.
Just the nachos. It's not even the beer sales. So, to your point, if Stephen A. Ross, a U of M grad, can do that, is that legal, number one? And number two, can he then go and lay money knowing that he gave him $100,000 so he can put $250 on the line and say, you know what, I'm going to take the Lions, even though we're favored by 5, because we're going to tank.
Let me ask you a question. Is that
legal? Is that legal?
Wait a second though. And it's what we talked about coming in.
Is that any different? Is that any different than, Nancy Pelosi trading on inside congressional information versus?
My question to you is this: in the Bad Sport documentary, where the Arizona State guys, they were shaving points, right? And the guy was betting on it. Does
Yeah, but the
does
guys
the betting
shaving, the
on
guys
it?
shaving points weren't betting on themselves. They were getting
No, I
a
know that, but
Yeah.
they were involved in the conspiracy. There we go. It was a
Right.
conspiracy. More than one person working to break the law. My
Uh,
question to you is it illegal, since there's a fiduciary responsibility to the public who's betting with and against? Is there some sort of, even if they didn't put any money on it, is there, for sure it's there's nobody that could look you square in the eye and say that's okay.
Hey Bob, as we could basically wrap it up right here and say gambling's a losing proposition. So
You want to bring up Penn Gaming and see how Davy Boy's doing?
no,
All right.
we'll give him a break.
Matt, I labeled all of these things oops. Oops 1, oops 2, oops 3. And here's another oops. Mexican man who drew a swastika on Union Station, Washington, D.C. last week is not eligible for arrest or deportation by ICE under Biden administration standards, despite having been previously deported 2 times, 35-page criminal record. That's a nice dossier in itself. It's a clown world, and I'm going to keep my clown self up. This is what you get. This is what you get when protests are violent and extreme and nobody gets arrested. Consequences, Matt. And then we love this one. We got to bring some humor into it because Mayor Garcetti, you got to appreciate the balls on this one, right? He held his breath. He doesn't look like he's holding his breath right now. First of all, he's pointing at if I'm holding my breath, I'm like kind of like the clown picture.
He's like this.
I guess. Can I hold my breath now as I go into a store and just say, hey, you know what? I'm not wearing the mask because I have a world record on breath holding and I'm only going to be in here 6 minutes and I can
hold it for 18. So I'm good. Yeah.
It continues.
It does.
And then last but not least, Tulsi puts this out. And I don't know if this was before the bombing in Syria or after. But she says, have you noticed that the very people who are proclaiming that we need to go to war to spread democracy abroad are the same ones saying mask up and stay in your basement, fuckers. And now, we took out a guy. Supposedly we took out women and children also. They were all vaccinated, so I guess it's okay.
Muhammad Ali is the
I don't know. Clown.
You know who he is? Nobody knows.
Never heard of him.
Exactly.
But apparently incredibly dangerous.
But incredibly good kick save narrative for the real shit that they have going on.
Matt, let's look at let's get back to Facebook. I don't even know what chart.
Let's talk about I got this chart right here. Let me bring it up for you. So top market cap wipeouts of all time.
Hold on, you got to share that. We can't, it's just a little corner piece right now.
That should be huge. I see it's good. My whole screen.
Oh, hold on. Maybe I'm fucked up here.
Yeah, I think you got some issues going on again.
Dude, I've had issues for no greater issue, Matt, than trying to play open mic with meth addict on the congas.
It's a tough thing. These were the biggest wipeouts in a single trading day. The old high was Facebook from July of 2018, which was always, 2018 was bad for Amazon too. That's interesting to look at. Those two were the most recent on that list. So let's bring up Facebook. And Facebook, Bob, lost 26% of its value yesterday after the earnings and is trading currently down at 238 and change, 238.91, down 26%, so down 85. Look at that. Look at that runaway train.
Not only that, like
that's an ugly chart. So now the market cap yesterday was right around 920 billion. Today it's 665. So that's a big haircut. And it's
not only that, it looks like it's going to spend some time in this value range.
It looks like it's going to go to one. Definitely. I mean, this to me, again, everything COVID related is coming back to COVID prices. Those
pre-COVID prices. Yes, I agree.
Well, I mean, this is where we were. We were at 221 and we're trading 238 right now. That was, January of 20. We went lower and then we went higher, but we're coming back to value in so many things. Neil Young and Crosby, Stills, Nash, they didn't do anything to Facebook, did they? But that's why Facebook's falling too, because Neil Young didn't do anything to them. I mean, this is the idiocy of, people talking about stocks when they never talk about stocks. Anyways, Facebook, they're
Let's talk
listen,
just a little bit about to preface the because we're going to bring up Amazon and talk about
yeah.
that. For me, I couldn't.
Well, for the first time, they had a decline in people coming to the site, new people joining, which I'm surprised. Like I stopped going to Facebook probably mid Obama years because the Karens were just already getting out of control, and I just couldn't deal with the idiocy. The idiocy the last couple of years had to be off the hook. So I know people are leaving for sure because it's just a noise machine, and there's not, to your point, the only good thing left about Facebook in your mind is the
marketplace, especially the local marketplace.
Well, especially for a small place like we live, right? That's the big sites aren't as, there's not as much out there on the offer up and those types of sites here in Central Oregon. I'm sure there's a lot better opportunities in your local area, but anyways, so what's left on Facebook with people just bitching and moaning and pointing fingers at each other? I don't want to, that doesn't
exactly. And in their call, they talked about, a giant part of their revenue is the advertisers, and they see no return on investment.
Right.
Because the people that are left on there are so triggered, they're not even buying anything. They're hunkered down. They're in their basement.
They're just typing all day.
And I can't tell you how many people that I know that the only thing they go on there for is for the local marketplace. Like, they need another dining room chair. Let me go on to Facebook Marketplace. I'm sure there's one there. Right. I mean, we both have ceased using Facebook. And we talked coming in, not so much for Amazon, but the chart again, Matt, that chart looks exactly like the Russell chart. Exactly.
Well, and it broke. It's interesting. It broke, at the bottom there last Monday, not this Monday, but the Monday before with the market. And then it came back and tested there at 3,000. Huge rally, 10% rally, by the way, 10, 11, just like the rest of the market. The NASDAQ was up 11.8. Amazon was up 12%. As Amazon goes, so goes the NASDAQ. I mean, that has been true for me for a long time. This is really the same chart as the NASDAQ if you look at it. It really hasn't changed. So if you want to know, kind of to your point, Bob, I think what you're bringing up is, are people stopping using Amazon? No, I don't think so. Matter of fact, more people are using it because they're using delivery. They're getting their food now delivered from Amazon. I mean, I send food to my kids, one in San Francisco, one in Amazon, just to be a good dad. When
the jungle?
Yeah.
One in
but I send
California.
San Diego and San Francisco. Yeah, both of them. But I send food to them via Amazon. It's great. They tell me what they want, and they put it in a cart, and I pay for it and send it to them. And so are people using it less? To your point, being local is great and everything, but is it realistic when you still need toilet paper and you can't buy? What are you going to buy? Reused linens for your toilet paper now? I mean, there's only so much you can do.
And again, yeah, I mean, I still use it. I still use it all the time. It just doesn't, it feels to me more like they're going to surprise to the upside like Google did than surprise to the downside.
Again, markets always do the opposite of whatever people think. Right now, they're selling, this thing was off almost 7% earlier. It was down to 27.90. Now it's up a little bit. It's sitting in balance on a 15-minute. This is a 1-month chart. Why not? Why wouldn't it rally? To your point, why wouldn't it rally?
Thank you, Lee. Bozo Circus is on the air. Cram it, clown. Anyway, what else did I have here, Matt? I want to just talk a little bit and just be serious about how difficult it is to play open mic when the guy that's playing the bongos is, needs to be institutionalized. The speeding up and slowing down in the rhythm section is catastrophic to your open mic performance. Just to let you know. And then, let's draw towards to trading. Like in the trading world, that's like having that one too many indicators that just, keep it simple, stupid, or keep it stupid simple. And especially in markets that are like this, Matt, that are running, you don't have to make it complicated.
Yeah, you really don't. I mean, that it's so interesting. Like I know a number of people, and a good friend of mine right now is really trying to learn more about trading, and he just wants to get into, what does this gray area mean in the chart? What is this blue? What is the yellow? And I'm like, oh God, it's just like, don't overthink it. Like there's no holy grail. And you say this all the time in trading. You either can trade with the trend or against the trend or no trade. Those are kind of your options. So if you're trading against the trend, then you have to decide how long do I want to trade against the trend? And if you're trading with the trend, it's the same question. How long do I want to ride with the trend? Right? Those are the questions. And is the market trending up? Is it going down? And within that context,
more importantly, at the end of the day, it's just what is the leverage, dollar signs? Where are you blowing out?
right?
You know, how many nickels can you make before you get run over by a $5 bill?
Right.
I mean, these are again, back to the money. And Matt, your video froze. Maybe that's a sign.
Yep. I think
maybe that's a sign. We will call it. Please visit us at marketvitals.io. Please share and retweet the stream. Enjoy the clown world. Do yourself a favor, cook someone a meal and use Manja TV Shrimp Mojo Spice. You can find it at Amazon, who's going to report today. Maybe we need a sub reporting of Manja Rub sales. You know, that could be important going forward for the market. Like who's cooking each other a meal. At the end of the day, that's all we got, Matt, is each other. Be disciplined, trade disciplined. Thank you. And please share, retweet, copyright infringe as much as you possibly can. The broadcast. Matt, you have a great day.
Hong Kong, Lee. Hong Kong.
They are sick of the fucking Hong Kong and Ottawa.
I love it.
See ya.
See ya.
End it.
I'm trying.
Brought to you by Pfizer. This Spike Pro